and welcome to Black Cats Chat, the international fans podcast for Sunderland AFC. My name is Lee Thurkel. I'm from the Bilbao Black Cats, and today we're joined by Paul Gardiner. He's in Thailand at the moment, but he wants to get out, don't you, Paul?
I do indeed.
Why do you want to get out? Tell us.
Because it's either like living in an oven or living in a sauna.
Yeah. And as English people, we don't like that, do we not? We like it for a couple of weeks a year, but not full time.
I'm not adapted to it. I don't fit in here. I mean, I don't. Sorry, I can't. The habitat, isn't it? The climate is just too much for me. I could just about manage it, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been living over here for 20 years now, and I think I've just
Well, hey.
about got adapted to like the hot weather in the summer. Yeah, I found ways to kind of keep myself fresh and cool in the summer when it gets like 40 degrees. But anyway, so Paul, yesterday we played Man United at Old Trafford. We fell to a disappointing defeat 2-0. I mean, before the match, I thought like confidence was quite high because we've been on a good run, hadn't been beaten in 5 games. Old Trafford is not the place it used to be. I mean, like you got floods from the stands. You've got mice running around according to the Sunderland message board. So, what went wrong for us yesterday?
The formation in the first half.
Hmm.
But although not unexpected, it's that 4-3-3 or the 4-1-3-1 sort of thing.
4-1-2-2-1, whatever it is. Yeah.
Xhaka's in front. He's the holding midfield player. And obviously, we had a lot of trouble down the left, which we know we're going to get with that guy Arthur, is it?
Yeah, Masuaku.
The
Yeah.
left back. Yeah. So he's more of an attacking wing backy kind of left back. And he was playing up against Ahmad, right? So I was like, bloody hell, Ahmad's playing as a wing back. That's crazy. But if he can do it, it'd be a fantastic wing back. And he was good. He was in that crossed the ball in. Good goal from that mount. But where did it go wrong? It went wrong with the formation.
Do you think the lineup as
In
well? The fact that he made 2 changes? Like he brought
um,
in who did he bring in? He brought in Traore and he brought in Adingra for Chris
yeah,
Rigg, and who was the other one who went out? It was Talby,
it
Chris
was
Rigg and
Talbot, yeah.
Talby. So it's very unlike Lebris, isn't it? Because he normally doesn't make changes to a lineup unless he's kind
Mm.
of forced to. So it was kind of surprising that he made 2 changes because, as we said, he's quite consistent with his lineups. There was no real reason to change because we hadn't played since the Saturday before. So, yeah, why do you think he changed?
I, why did he bring in Talby and
Well, why did it Adingra and Traore?
Traore? Uh, what? God. When did Talby started, didn't he?
No, Talby came on second half.
Right. I was getting confused there. So I
I
was
was like,
quite drunk mate, at the time. This is 9 o'clock for me, kickoff, 9 o'clock kickoff, all right? I'm going to have had a few sherbets. So, yeah. Um, it's just that 4-3-3 system doesn't work if unless those two wingers, inside forwards or whatever, are having a 10 of a game. Because you just see it time and again. They've got the ball and there's 2 or 3 guys around them. So they pass the ball back, and then it goes to the other side, and then it goes back again to the other side. It's just the same thing, the same system. Players close them down.
mhm.
That leaves the strikers isolated. Xhaka might deliver like a peach of a ball if we're lucky, because I don't think you're going to get it from Rig and Siddiqui or what the other lad. Have you?
Diarra, yeah.
He's just an engine, isn't he? He's either going to run around and chase the ball down. Just say ball winning midfielder. So that doesn't work. That and it was against Man United for Christ's sake.
Well,
And funnily enough,
I think as well, like yesterday when I saw the lineup, I kind of understood what he was trying to do by playing Adingra and Traore because obviously Man United have been highlighted in the last few months that Amorim's style. He likes to play a back three. He likes to play a very high defensive line, and obviously playing Traore and Adingra. With the idea of Lafay in the middle was basically to try and capitalise on that, not exploit the high defensive line with Traore's pace, with Adingra's pace, Lafay's ability to play the balls through, but it just didn't work, did it not?
No, so what were they then? Were they 3-5-2?
Yep. They had Ahmad as
Some,
wing backs, yeah. They had
so the answer, yeah, go on.
no, they had like Yoro, Dalot, and Delict were the three centre backs, and then you had
Yeah,
Ahmad on one
delete.
side. But yeah, I mean, it just didn't work because I think we had quite a lot of possession as well. Like surprisingly at Old Trafford, like we had 49% possession.
Really?
So yeah, it's like more than
By the end of
previous
the
games.
game.
Yeah, by the end of the game, that was quite
Right.
unusual, more than normal. But the thing is that when you play, I don't know, like when you play Lafay in the middle, for me, like Lafay's one of those players. Like he's a bit of a luxury for us, isn't he? Because we don't really play to his strengths. He's like a person who likes to get on the ball a lot and create things, but he's going to get
Yeah.
on the ball more for us on the
Yeah.
wing than he is in the centre. Because as I said, like our midfield three is basically Xhaka to keep it together, and then Siddiqui and Diarra the engines, no? But
Mm.
for me, Lafay, he's better on the left wing. But yeah, so we started with that. Traore, he missed that good chance, didn't he, early on? Like after a couple of minutes, we could have gone 1-0 up. I don't know if
Yeah.
you saw that at the beginning. I mean, the
That was a bloody
linesman and the referees.
shocker.
Well,
He
the
didn't even
ref.
get a foot on it. He didn't
No,
even get a bloody foot on it.
and it's his strong
Uh,
foot, I think, as well. He is left-footed, so
He's
that
running
was
in on his left foot.
that
That
was a
was a
bit,
tap-in.
yeah, that was a bit disappointing. But then the referee or the linesman actually blew up for something, like either offside or.
Yeah.
But looking at the replay, it wasn't, so it would have been given as a goal if he'd have scored it. But yeah, just something.
Offside it was called for, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it
But
wasn't us
he
offside.
still
Yeah,
should have scored it. You got to tap that
no,
in.
yeah, yeah, no,
It's run
absolutely,
across him.
yeah.
Bloody madness.
But yeah,
Disappointing.
even from like the start of the match, you could see that there was something about the body language of the players that they just weren't at the same levels in terms of like they weren't. I don't know. I just didn't see them really up for it as much as other games. Didn't see really the same aggression, the same intensity. And
Hmm.
after 8 minutes, we fell behind. I mean, it was just like a ball in from the right hand side, and you've got Mason Mount there, you've got Sesko, and you've got Mboum, three attacking players on the edge of the box, and Mount basically had ages, didn't he, to bring it down. And
He
the
did well, didn't he? You see, that's that class. So that ball sort of doesn't bounce off him, but it's a touch that's just moved the ball where he wants to go. And it hasn't looped up like that. It's done it. It's in a split second. He's received it, and then he's got the momentum to move forward onto it, and then all he has to do is to get it on target, which he did. Credit, it was a very good goal, a really good finish, more specifically, a very good finish. And Ahmad did what he's been asked to do. You're playing as a wing back, but you're going to come in, you're going to inverted wing back, basically. Job done. Was the defending?
Well, I think
I think
the gap between the defensive line and then
yeah,
Xhaka and Siddiqui and Lafay was always quite wide. I thought it was like really easy for United to get through our midfield, to bypass our midfield, and that goal kind of proved it because the amount of space that Mount had to bring it down, Alderete was basically late onto it, clocked it quite late, and then you're thinking like bloody hell, like the gap there between Xhaka and Alderete is
yeah, they
huge.
were.
So you think that we'd be a bit deeper, not defending like at that moment of the game. But yeah,
I just think with anything like this kind of thing, Lee, you give credit to the scorer, or you complain that the defense did something wrong, right?
mm,
So usually when it's us scoring, I'm like, yeah, it's because we did well, and then they didn't. And on this occasion, I'm like, actually, I've got to give the credit to the guy Mount, and uh, I don't know why. I'm less inclined to think to blame the defence. When I first saw the goal, I saw the replay. I was like, yeah, he's done well, that kid. If there was bad defending involved, I haven't really been looking at it from that point. I just like, oh shit, that was a good goal. Like a kid that probably cost God knows how much, millions and
Well,
millions and
and
millions of
apart from that, like they've got a midfield three of Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, and Mason Mount, all internationals and all
yeah.
good players on their day. Although Casemiro, I think he's past his best.
Yeah, I
Um,
wasn't convinced by him
nah,
so much, but
nah. But anyway, listen, we got off to a bad start, but
mm,
as when happens with Sunderland, like nowadays, is that we don't put our heads down. But
mm,
then, like as the game went on, you could see that we were struggling, especially on that, our left hand side. No, like Masuaku,
yeah,
he was basically defending one on one all the time versus Ahmad. And I think like I've read comments online from fans, and they've been like slating Masuaku, but I thought, hang on, he's been shit on basically
mm,
by Adingra because Adingra didn't give him any support at all. And
mm,
Ahmad just got a free run, loads of space. You could probably put the best fullback in the world there, and Ahmad one on one against them would probably
yeah.
get the better of them because he's a very good player. So
As long as
do you think the criticism of Masuaku is a bit unfair? And being made of a bit of a scapegoat because he was a free transfer. He's only in because Reynildo's suspended. Do you think it's a bit unfair, or do you think it's justified that he hasn't been playing great according to some?
I wasn't aware that there was any online vitriol towards him because we both use the same website to keep in touch with the fans, right? A website which I shall shortly be returning to. Yes, try and get another bang before the end of the month. And I think that's unfair, but what can you say, mate? I've been saying it for years. That website, you've got kids on it, and kids are kids. But you just see it more and more and more. Me, now. Today. He's not good enough now. Oh, he's brilliant. He's shit again next week. Now he's that's the fan. These are the young fans. Entitlement. So I wasn't aware that there was some sort of big negativity towards him. I just go along with what you say. He was up against Ahmad. Not so easy, is it?
Hmm.
The guy's. It would be stupid if he wasn't informed, or Ahmad's probably going to cut inside you. As long as that's if that was known, be aware Ahmad is going to cut inside. And then if you got to go with him if he does that. And he's the wing back, right? So nobody's going to go in behind Ahmad like an overlap, right?
Hmm.
That's probably not going to happen. Or if it did, credit genius, frankly. But I think it's a bit harsh, isn't it?
But I think the fact that Ahmad came inside so much was because he had so much space to go inside that it's kind of hard to show someone down the line when they've got so much space to come inside. Um,
Mm,
so yeah, he basically got butchered by Ahmad because he didn't have the support, and it was no surprise that just after their second goal, Adingra got took off, didn't he? He got taken off because he was just basically not tracking back. I mean, going forward, he was all right actually. He played a couple of good balls in. He was the one who put the ball in for Traore for the chance, but in terms of tracking back, you could see he was jogging. So on that second goal, then Paul Sesko, 31 minutes. Again, it's basically a nothing, isn't it? And it's quite unlike us because
mm,
normally we're very solid defensively. We put bodies on the line. I think
mm,
we had about six players in the box, and they had their three.
mm.
And it was just like a long throw into the box, a flick on, and then Trey Hume at the back stick. He's just late to it, isn't he?
Uh, I watched that goal a lot. In my opinion, that was just bloody lucky. That came off Mukiele's head.
Hmm.
He flicked it on. From what you see on the replay, Mukiele's head flicked it on. And the guy was just standing there and had to react, and he did. Trey Hume's behind him, right? Because there's probably players behind Trey Hume. I, yeah, that's. we basically didn't clear the ball, didn't clear the first ball, right? It was very lucky though, because that skimmed off his head, skimmed off his head, and the guys just standing there, like I say before, like where's our goals like that? When do we get our versions of that sort of goal?
Do you know, like these long throws are coming back into fashion now, right?
Beautiful.
Do you not think like the keepers could maybe like also use their advantage of being able to use their hands and possibly just like come out and smash it or just catch it? Because the ball is in the air for quite a long time with these long throws because they are
Yeah,
very like long, high, deep throws. So it
yeah.
gives the keeper trying some time to make a move and like get a fist on it. So perhaps could we see that in the future from roofs? Maybe it's like when people do these long throws against us, that we might actually try and get the keeper to come out and punch it.
You'd have to you'd have to show me if I could see all the throw-ins from United yesterday, and then like that, the long throw-ins, and is in theory is Roofs or any keeper able to do what you just said, which is to punch the ball out? Because the defenders are going to block the keeper. They do it all the time.
Hmm.
And as long as the ball, like if it's a throw in, long throw in to aiming for the 6 yard or the 8 yard, well, the penalty spot. If that's the idea, get it in a penalty spot. Then definitely the keeper has a chance to punch it out. I think it's just variations of where is that ball, and the keeper has to think like, where is it? Can I punch it out or can I just catch it? But I thought he had a good game, Bruce. Again, bloody
Yeah,
amazing saves.
yeah. No,
Jesus,
we'll get onto
he's
that
been
in
a
a minute.
hell of a buy.
Yeah.
Incredible. He won't.
Uh,
He'll be gone next summer. By the way, there's no
no.
overkeeping this bugger.
Yeah, at least
There's
for a
no
couple of
overkeeping
seasons.
him.
At least for a couple of seasons.
Right. Man United will
Um,
probably buy him.
uh, probably. Right. So, like, just after that second goal went in, you could see the immediate reaction from the players. There was a bit of finger pointing going on, wasn't there? I don't know if you saw it. Like, there was Mukiele and there was
Shoftebits.
Xhaka, and
Yeah.
like it was a pity that the cameras kind of went off it very quickly. But you could see that there was a bit of I don't know, a bit
Well,
of
we don't want to
finger
show anyone
pointing.
having arguments. Oh,
Um,
we don't want to...
what's your take on that? I mean, were you surprised at how fast that happened? Like the finger pointing and arguments, or do you
Yeah.
just think that's like a natural part of the game and it's a natural reaction, and then it's not a big deal?
I suppose if you're a defender, which I never was, I was always a winger, but your team hasn't defended that, that's a fail. And that's when you get the pointing out. You're supposed to be covering that area. No, you're supposed to be there because I was the back stick, or the front stick. And that's all it was. I just think it was a lucky goal. It was a lucky goal. Fine, they can point fingers at each other and shit like that. But he look at it again. It skimmed off Mukiele's head and
Mm.
landed perfectly to the feet of the lad, and he just popped it in.
Tapped it in.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to ours, mate. As I say, I'm looking forward to the goals we get where just like that,
Yeah,
just just like
I
that. Tommy
suppose that.
Cooper, wasn't it?
I suppose that like obviously they had that kind of moment. Like Mukiele was a bit angry. Xhaka was like trying to keep things calm. There's
Mm.
either two ways that can go. You either basically pick up your heads and like just continue and fight on, or you can just crumble. And I think thankfully we didn't crumble. I think we got back in the game a
Mm.
little bit. As we mentioned, like Regis made some changes, didn't he? He made the Simon Adingra change after what was it, 38 minutes, 37 minutes. He brings Big Dan Ballard on, goes to a back three with two wing backs, and it was interesting. I mean, people were saying, "Oh no, it's tactical," and I was like, no, well, "It is," but it's also because Adingra's not tracking back. And I don't know if you're on Instagram, Paul, but Simon Adingra put on Instagram yesterday. He put, "When life hits you, don't see it as punishment. See it as preparation. The storm doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to clear your path. Sometimes you have to be shaken to be awakened. Thanks for the amazing support as always. We'll be back stronger." So that kind of tells you that he's been hooked because he was shit, basically, and he's realised that.
They changed the formation, right, to
Yep.
three, which was much better. like a million times better, because the stats in the second half, possession wise, and the stats in the first half are opposites. That's why you end up with 49% because of the possession we had in the second half.
Well,
But
it meant Ahmad had less space because Alderete was on the left hand side of the back three, and you got Max
yeah,
as wing back, so it kind of
yeah.
closed down the space that Ahmad had. And in the second half,
Mm.
Ahmad didn't have as much influence in the game as he did in the first half.
Yeah, so a formation change was what Regis Labrie said pretty much in the interview afterwards. It's like, it's not about they asked him about Adingra and he said it's not about that one player, it's about the team. And we needed to make changes, how he does in his very exotic French way. Sorry. And it was the right thing to do. He had to change the formation. Like he said, we would have conceded more goals if we'd have just continued to leave it like it was. In credit to Lebris, it's last season he was stuck with the same team, wasn't he? He had to just pick the same team more or less, quite a lot. Because he couldn't, there weren't really options. Like we were very limited options. Now it's like he's being proactive, right? So maybe he changed this. He's brought on a sub. No, it was the second half, wasn't it?
Yeah, 59 minutes. He brought on Mayenda, Talby, and Brobby
Because people were slating him earlier in the season, weren't they? Or was it the end of last season? Like
last
he
season.
doesn't
Yeah.
make subs until after 90 minutes or the last 90 minutes or something like that.
Well,
So
he
clearly,
won't make subs, or he'll make very few subs if we're winning, or if it's 0-0. If we're behind, he'll make subs because he
yeah,
always thinks that if the game is still in the balance, like
yeah,
a draw or we're winning, he
yeah.
doesn't like to drift away from his plan. But
Well,
if
a
we,
typical manager.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's exactly that's you got to be a manager. You got to have an ego.
yeah,
And but credit to him, he did change it, and the second half was much, much, much better.
hmm
But have you got his stats here? When did he bring? So he brought a Dingra off.
38 minutes, 37, and then Mayenda, Talby, Brobby for Traore, Masu Isidore on 58, and then
So
for
38
Trauda,
minutes.
38 minutes for the Adingra change, yeah.
So that's unprecedented.
hmm
Now I can't tell you the last time we've seen a sub unless it was an injury in the first half. Yeah, so I guess that's why he's feeling the player is feeling aggrieved about it. But the manager's got to be like, shit, this isn't going well. This
hmm
isn't working. This formation isn't working. He's not having a good game. There's, like he says, clearly they were winning it, killing it, as they say, as the kids say, killing it down the right hand side. So okay, right, that's fine. So he brings them off on 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Very unusual.
yeah,
Very
and then
unusual.
obviously when you got a back three of Ballard, Mukiel, and Alderete,
Yeah,
you're going to win some more battles, and I think we did quite well
we
after
did.
that.
We did.
Uh,
We
the
were
only
in the
other
game.
the only other two things of note in the first half was a shot by Granit Xhaka, long range shot, which had like the match of the day commentators like oohing and ahhing over the keeper because it was his
Yes.
debut. And I was
Just
thinking
everywhere.
the saves he had to make were pretty average and standard, weren't they, really? I mean, compared to Robin Roos, who made some cracking saves.
Yeah.
But the other talking point, Paul, was the penalty we got given but then taken away because of VAR intervention. Trey Hume
Oh yeah.
uh, got a header on it, I think, and
Yeah, right. That. Yeah.
and a high foot. Now, when I first saw it, I didn't think it was a penalty, and
No,
after
did
watching
I?
the replay, I don't think it was a penalty. I think the correct
Neither do
decision
I.
was made.
Yes. That's good. I'm glad we agree, Lee. I was going to jump ship, mate, if you that would have been the end of it. Yeah. Look, you just start giving penalties for that. We may as well just pack up and then we'll go home.
But I mean, on the flip side, Paul, if that's anywhere else on the pitch, outside the box, it probably
Mm.
gets given as a free kick, and nobody bats an eyelid, because well, I mean, well, you can't use VAR, can you? Anywhere else on the pitch, unless it's like a red card decision. But the thing is that
Yeah.
it like the guy Sesko makes a genuine attempt to play the ball.
And
He
yes,
do,
his foot was high.
yeah,
Right, we get it. His foot was
his foot
high.
was high, but he doesn't make any contact with Trey Hume's head, who goes down holding his
Oh.
head, which was
Hmm.
like the ball hitting his head, which like made him feel that.
Yeah.
He hits his armpit. for me, I've seen people, even like I put a comment yesterday on social media, and that ex-referee, what's he called? Keith Hackett, I think he's called.
Gallagher?
No, Keith
Oh,
Hackett. He's like a referee from the 90s. He used to be chairman of the referees, I think, as well, something like that. And he kind of commented on my post saying, you you don't have to make contact for it to be a foul if it's reckless or endangering an opponent. And I thought, well, it's neither reckless or endangering an opponent.
so this is wokeness coming into the bloody football game and the rules of the game. Is what I'm telling you, mate. The world's going mad. So it's the intention that makes it a foul. There's quite a lot of that in the old. I just like I go. Just give me the football of 30, 40 years ago, where grown men can sometimes, there's a foul. Fair enough, it's a man's game. That is a bloody man's game. Let's not turn it into something it isn't. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. They need to get some of these rugby referees, get them involved in marshalling football games because these other people, it's just Traore's. There was more. I felt that he had more of a shout. Do you remember when
Yeah,
that was more
yeah.
of a shout of a penalty for me than
Hmm.
Humes all day long. But there was another moment. I was thinking about writing a note yesterday. I was like, oh, I've got to mention this to Lee. It was a foul, and it was again. It was like, why is that a foul? Like, why is it, unless it's a mistake? If it's a mistake, admit it. Well, sorry, that was not a foul. But in a man all right, in a man's world, in a game of football with men, that shouldn't be a foul.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, I'll
The
tell you what,
rules.
Paul, we're going to take a quick break because my
Yeah.
Zoom's running out. So we'll be back in a few minutes to talk about the second half and the other decisions. See you soon.
Hello, I'm Amanda. I'm 14 years old. I was born in Vitoria and I belong to the Bilbao Black Cats. I really enjoy going to Sunderland games because they're very exciting. I really like the new top because it shows some of the history from Sunderland. How are the lads?
Welcome back to part two. So we got to
Oh,
half
yeah.
time, 2-0 down. Thankfully, it wasn't
Mm.
any more than that. So we start the second half. As we said, we went to a back three with Ballard, Alderete, and Mukiele. So obviously we had a better shape. Do you think we grew into the game in the second half, Paul?
I think what we did second half and what we showed second half was very, very encouraging. Very encouraging. I mean, against a Man United team that cost 500 million, um, miles better, wasn't it? Miles better. Just you see, just getting Ballard in there. Uh, Alderetti's the left back, and he's left centre back, right? And Ballard was in the middle, maybe, and
Mm-hmm.
Mukiele was on
Right
his
side, yeah.
right side. Yeah, it was immediately better. I don't know the stats, but I don't know how many shots on target they got second half, for instance.
Second
I'd
half,
say we were defense. Yeah, second half. Like defensively, we didn't concede a goal in the second half with that formation,
mm,
and our possession rate went up
one shot on
quite a bit.
target, second half they had, and so did we, which was the Talby chance, I imagine. Um,
Yeah, that's said about him in a bit.
yeah,
I mean, that's a bit harsh because again, Labrie in his interview, he's defending him because he was getting asked about how, like, well, he's a young player, he's come from a different league, blah blah blah, which I all completely agree with. We can't be, writing these players off, but he absolutely drove me crazy yesterday, Derby. Not for the first time, I'm like, oh.
hmm.
Yeah,
Well, no, but I'm just going at the stats. Like first half, they had 5 shots on target. I mean, a
mm,
couple of those were Ahmad's that Roof stopped, and obviously there were the save from Roos and
brilliant
Bruno
saves.
Fernandes shot, which was like magnificent, wasn't it? The way he just
Yep.
leaped up. I mean, the slow motion replay of
He
that,
tipped it onto the bloody bar
he tipped
or the
onto the
post. The
bar.
kind of that was the extreme of it. Like, and he's a tall guy.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It was like basically when they put the slow motion replay on, it was like basically a salmon jumping up this tree.
It was a thing of beauty.
It
Yeah,
was
leaping salmon, right? Yeah,
going to their spawning ground. So,
right.
but no, 52% possession they had first half, and we had 48, and then the second half it was like 51% for us and 49 for them when it was one shot on target each. So yeah, we did kind of nullify their threat.
Yeah.
Actually, there was one thing we didn't talk about in the first half, Paul, which was Big Dan Ballard had a header from a corner, which I thought was in. I don't remember that was like towards the end of the first half. Just after he came on, we had a corner.
Oh, he should. Yeah,
I
he
think,
was so disappointed. He bloody considering the headers he has scored.
yeah.
Like that was a better chance than any of it.
Well, back posting was totally free, and I think he's just like, yeah, he's just
Yes.
misjudged
Yep.
just where the position him, wasn't he? But I mean, yeah, that was a very
It
good
would be
chance.
all right if he was in the middle of the goal when it hit his head, because it might have gone in. But he's actually headed it, I don't know, a couple of meters wide, from that distance. It's quite surprising, really. And
Yeah.
he looked absolutely gutted with himself.
Mm. Well, I mean, as we mentioned before, then we had Mayenda, Talby, and Bobby came on for 58 after 58 minutes. Traore, Masuaku, Isidore went off. Well, I thought Isidore had a very quiet game, didn't he? Didn't really get much involvement, I don't think.
Yeah, yeah. Shame, really. My favourite player, but no, didn't get a sniff, really.
Mm. Mm.
I can't, he didn't even have a sort of a one when he scores a wonder goal. He didn't
Well,
have anything like that, a crazy shot.
Well, like
Nothing.
Forest last week when he had that like kind of snapshot, didn't he, on the edge of the box? But he
Yeah,
didn't
that's
even,
what he's going to do, though.
he didn't even get anything like that, did he? He didn't get any kind of scraps at all. So,
Nothing.
what about Traore? Because again, a bit like Masuaku, he's had a couple of games. He came in as a free transfer, I think, or very low fee, I think 1.5 million till the end of the season from Ajax. People have kind of been reading reviews at Ajax saying he was a lazy player, but he's got talent. He's made a couple of appearances from the bench, and he wasn't great, but he wasn't terrible. You can see where the lazy comments come from because he wasn't tracking back. But actually, yesterday, I thought he was our most attacking. Well, he was our best attacking outlet on the right wing because when he got the ball, he always used it well. Now, when you got a winger, you want them to run at players all the time and get past them. But I think he kind of used his head yesterday and he realised that, listen, I'm on the right wing. I've got two defenders against me. I've dragged two defenders. And then that's how he created the shot for Xhaka in the first half. He basically got the two defenders to come and mark him, created that space for Xhaka, and he always used it well. He played the ball inside into space, and I thought he had a very good game.
Yeah, I don't really have any strong opinions of either way yet. Not yet. I have on other players that I've mentioned, but not so much him. Did he have a good game? He didn't have a bad game, like Talby and Adingra did. They specifically had bad games, but Traore didn't. I think he might be because there's been little moments that, like, because I seem to remember specific moments in games, and then everything else is just a blur. And the moments I specifically remember are the moments where it's like supernatural force intervened or something to make that happen. And he seems to be, how when they say about players, the ball seems to stick to them. Like there's it's not logical. It's really unusual that a player has that, whatever it is, gravity pull on their foot that pulls the ball towards them. I think he's got a bit of that. And there's when somebody wins the second ball or something, I'm like, bloody hell. That just seemed to present it to him. Or you could call it luck, but there was that moment yesterday. He had one of them, and the other moment I remember is whether it should have been a penalty or not. For when he went down. But
Yeah, I mean, we'll get onto that now.
Yeah.
I mean, we may as well talk about it because again, it was just like a long ball. I can't remember who played the pass over the top, but it was a long ball over the top. Uh, and obviously he is quite fast, and he had like the
He's quite
keeper.
tall.
Yeah, he's tall,
Oh,
very leggy.
yeah,
Uh,
very lucky.
he clearly got the ball first, but I think the fact that I think the contact comes outside, doesn't it? I think the first
I
contact,
did, yeah.
I think the first contact
Yes.
comes from Fernandez. Like Fernandez kind of clips him, and then there might be a slight touch from the keeper, but I think the Fernandez contact is definitely evident. But obviously, it happened outside the box, so there's no VAR review, and he gets booked for simulation, which I thought was kind of
But
a
harsh.
bit unfair. Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, players do it all the time. You know, well, if it's simulation for him, then it has to be for at the other end.
yeah,
If you're an impartial referee,
yeah.
right? If you're impartial,
Well, I mean, if that's Man United, it probably gets given a penalty, doesn't it? It is.
of course it does.
Yeah, at Old
Yeah.
Trafford. I mean, I was watching Match of the Day last night, and Arsenal got a penalty. I think it was Saka got brought down, and the commentator was saying, initial contact is outside the box, but it carries on into the box, and therefore it's a penalty. And I'm thinking, hang on, if the first
No.
contact was outside the box, surely it's a
Yes.
foul.
Unless they've
But
changed the rules.
yeah, and then I was thinking, oh, it is Arsenal, so obviously they're going to get the decision. So there were some baffling decisions, but yeah, Traore was
Yeah.
very unlucky to get booked for that. I've seen some fans as well criticising the bookings for our players. I mean, I think Xhaka
Siddiqui got
got
booked,
booked,
didn't he?
Siddiqui got booked, but they were fouls that you're going to get booked for because if you pull somebody back,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it happens in the first minute or the 90th minute, you're going to get booked because you're not making an attempt to play the ball. And people are, oh, it's
No.
the first foul of the game. It's like, but it doesn't matter. If you're not making an attempt to play the ball, you're dragging someone back. It's an automatic yellow card. Simple as that. You've got to
There
use your
was.
head.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, was it which player it was that clearly he's got his arm around the guy's belly, and then you can see the t-shirt is being pulled. So you're going to have to get a yellow card for that in the current rules, the current iteration of the rules. And I don't know that might have been Shaka. It might have actually been Shaka actually that made that foul. I can't remember Sadiqi's foul.
Alderete got booked, didn't he, for a pull back, I think, and
Oh, it
Xhaka
was
got
Alderete.
Yeah, he had his hands all over him. Siddiqui like kind of looked like he whacked Fernandez in the face. Um, Traore got a yellow card, obviously, and then Xhaka was a free kick, wasn't it? But again, you could argue that he did make an attempt to get the ball because he kind of slides in before the guy passes it. But I mean, yeah, I think like the yellow cards that we got yesterday wasn't because it was at Old Trafford. I think the yellow cards we got were probably justified, apart from the Traore one. But obviously they did get some decisions. Right then, so the subs came on. Brobby, Brian Brobby. He's cost
Yeah.
25 million. He's been here for what, a
Have you heard
month?
Jonathan Ross describe his name?
I imagine it's quite
Jonathan
similar.
Ross,
Yeah.
wild boy.
Brian Brobby. Yeah. I imagine having Roy
uh,
Hodgson as manager. Um,
exactly.
so yeah, 25 million
Monty
I think he
Python, isn't
cost,
it?
or 25 million. He's been here for a month. He's only had a couple of outings from
Mm,
the bench.
mm.
Um, when do we start wondering if he's going to be the right fit?
Uh, I was happy with all the signings we had, and then there was a late flurry, wasn't there? There was Gertrude or whatever his name is, and Robbie and Traore. I think that's the three. Was it deadline day? And there might have been one a week before or something, but those were the deadline day signs, weren't they?
Mukiele as well came in,
Uh,
yeah, about that time, well, before.
a little bit before, yeah. He looks a beast, doesn't he, Mukio? Very happy with him. I don't know. I don't know what to make of him, probably.
I think
And
first of
I,
all, he's very different to Isidore Mayenda. He's like your typical
I don't know
number
what he
nine.
is, though, Lee.
He's just like a strong number nine who will
Is he a
basically play.
poacher?
He'll play with his back to goal. He wants to
Right.
get the ball at his feet. He's got a quick turn and
Right.
he's got a good snapshot. And yeah, he'll get in the box and he'll poach goals. But he won't run the channels like Isidore or Mayenda. He won't make runs
Oh,
in behind. So
what do
I
they
think
call that role in Football Manager?
what
So if it's not a
target
poacher,
man.
though, there's the target man, the poacher, the complete centre forward. I understand all these roles, defined roles. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense to call him that. That's the kind of striker he is, yeah. Or a
Yeah.
false nine. He would be a false nine because he's going to do a lot of work in and around that circle that he has to inhabit.
Hmm.
So you could call him a complete forward in that he will try and make his own goal if he's playing with his back to goal or a target man. But he's also given the opportunity, he's going to just play like an old-fashioned centre forward.
But it is a lot of
Yeah,
money though, isn't it? 20, 25 million on deadline day for a forward and then not to play him. But then again, you could argue that Isidor's form has been good, but still, 20, 25 million, you don't want that sitting on the bench.
it's because we're old that we think like this. You see, because it's the link with money and oh God, what are we doing spending money like that? Because like I say about Diarra, well, for 30 million, I want a midfielder that can make a cup of tea whilst he's running and dispossess everybody at the same time whenever the ball's for 30 million. That's what I want for my money. So that's what it is. It's just that we're old school. And you will buy players for a lot of money that will more or less sit on the bench. And those Premier League teams have been doing that. For what I can see, that's not uncommon. It's not uncommon. It's not common for us. It's not uncommon for like all those Premier League teams. 20 quid's worth, million quid's worth, 30 million quid's worth on the bench. Yeah, each of them. We're just used to, a bench of bargains and kids.
Mm.
That's been the reality of our club for the last 8 years,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah,
All right, well, we'll see what happens with Bobby. But anyway,
we'll see what happens with Mr. Bobby.
you mentioned before that you haven't been impressed with Talby. Why?
Nah, I don't know. It's just he doesn't exude any sort of confidence at all. Which fair enough. If the lad's feeling a bit overwhelmed, don't play him in the bloody game then. Do something else, change that formation, which is what they did, and then it worked. That formation worked because it's Hugh who doesn't lack confidence, and he's happily marshalling that right side, whereas Talby is only going to run into a brick wall. It's the Premier bloody league. I don't even like this league. I'm happy we're in it, but I tell you, I like the other leagues, within reason. So you can't play him really. You just can't pick him, Talby. Unless he's doing something amazing in training that I ain't seen.
I think that's his work rate, isn't it? That gets him in the team.
I imagine
He'll
they
get up and down.
probably looked at the data. Yeah, you know what it is these days, the whole freaking data thing, and probably not scout. I mean, is it scouts going to scout players? With sitting there in the stands with a coffee and a notepad? No, they don't even need to do that anymore. They just go onto their professional system, whatever that's called in football, because there is one, right, where you can look at the data of a player. And what's his possession rate? What's his disposition rate? All of these bloody stats. So yeah, Talby's one of them. Well, they're all one of them, but he's only 20, isn't he?
Yeah, he's only 20, but he is a good player.
He'll probably be.
He is a good player, but is he just being instructed by Lebris to play a certain way that kind of hinders him? Because I saw highlights of him playing for Club Brugge where he was like running at defenders, torturing them. Interestingly, on the left wing rather than the right wing, but he was like torturing.
So is he a winger or an inside winger? Inverted winger, rather.
I don't know what he is. I don't know what he is.
If he's a winger, i.e. to go to beat the last man, the fullback, run past him and then get across him, which is what a winger does. That's great. And I think that's if that's what he is, but I just don't know what his role is. There's just this moment I'm like, oh.
No, but I just saw like highlights, and you see him running with the ball, like that kind of low center of gravity, ball stick to his foot, as you mentioned before. But we haven't really seen that for us, apart from when he came, when we played Villa, and we scored the Isidore goal. That's when you really saw him kind of do that. But perhaps he's just been instructed to play this kind of wide midfield role where he gets up and down, and I think he has got energy.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But I think that's why he's probably a safer bet to play in our starting 11 than someone like Adingra and Traore who won't put the shift in. But
Oh,
anyway, yesterday he had that chance, didn't he? Because Mayenda came on, and I was actually infuriated that Mayenda didn't actually shoot himself. I don't know if you remember the chance in the second half where Mayenda picked up the ball in the middle of the pitch,
oh,
did a little bit of dribble, and then he
oh,
passed it to Talby, and
uh-huh.
Talby hit it straight at the keeper. For me, a confident Mayenda takes that on himself because it's on his left hand side. He's left footed. Just bloody toe poked into the corner, as they would in Spain when they play like futsal. They love a good old
Okay.
toe poke. But
Well, this is technical skills,
yeah,
right? Don't
but
piss around with making your leg go, pulling your leg back and then pulling it forward. Just
toe
poke
poke
it.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and and
Brains.
and
That's-
Mayenda, I mean, he had three options, didn't he? Really, he had Talby on the left, and I think he had I don't know if it was
This
Broby
is where
on
we need
the
a
right.
clip. Like,
Yeah,
this is where we're going to go with this channel, right? You're going to get a clip,
I'm
right?
gonna
And
have to
then
get a clip. But I mean,
let's look at this moment and then talk about this moment. Here it is for 10 seconds, right?
yeah, I
Get a
would
little
love to
clip.
do that, but then probably YouTube will take my video down, and then
Oh,
I know, bloody bastards, eh?
would they
Uh,
do that?
yeah,
Are you not allowed to
yeah.
do that?
I'm not
You're not
allowed to
allowed
do
to do
that.
that?
No, no. Like for the Bilbao Black Cats, we have a goal of the month, right? Award.
Right.
And so
Okay.
on social media, I put the goal of the month, and
Uh,
Facebook and Instagram took it down pending investigation. And
for showing a clip
for showing a clip
of
because
what's
it's
already been
because
played
it's
and
it's
already
rights of the Premier League.
of, yeah, right.
So I
God.
basically, you say you can make a comment or complaint, and I said, okay, I took it from the Sunderland AFC YouTube channel for goal of the
Right.
month, and actually one of the platforms accepted my excuse, and the other one didn't. But they're part of the same group, Meta. So
META, right.
yeah,
So with this kind of thing, this is the ideal tool to have, right? So you've got a list of questions you want to ask. And as I say, I'm a perfect candidate for this because last night I had quite a bit to drink. So we're talking about moments in matches, and I can't bloody remember those moments in matches. I can remember some of them. I can't remember all of them. And what if Lee asked a question about a moment that I can't bloody remember? What are we going to do? Game over. So anyway,
but anyway, the
I'll
Talby
work.
chance,
I'll have
yeah.
a think. I will work something out. I will work something out because this could be very useful. Like, so everybody knows what we're talking about, right?
I don't know. Maybe
Remember
we
the
have to
moment.
do like, I don't know, like use like a filter. Do you know, like I don't know if you've seen on social media when
Something that
they,
we can see, but
yeah,
nobody
they
else can
can't.
see.
But have you not seen
Yeah.
on social media that they have this kind of they have this guess the goal competition where like it's like filtered out, and the players are silhouettes, so you can't actually
Right.
see the player or the shirt. They're just like a white pitch and a black silhouette, and like you see the replay of the goal or the action. Maybe we could
Right.
do that. I think there then we
Well,
wouldn't get done.
you can share the clip in Zoom, right? We can see it, and then we can comment on it.
Yeah, but then obviously when I upload this, I
Oh,
upload
then there's a problem.
then there's a problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
because YouTube detects it. So, and then Facebook and Instagram as well. But anyway, never mind. So
All right.
anyway, the Mayenda chance, he could have passed it to his right, or he could have passed it to his left, or he could have shot himself. He went for Talby. Talby went for the first time shot.
Mm.
Keeper saved it. I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? Because normally when you go for a first time shot, it's kind of often encouraged, isn't it? Because the goalkeeper apparently isn't set,
Mm.
and you can kind of catch them off guard. But do you
Right.
think Talby perhaps had time to take a touch and then make a better decision? Whether it was
It was
to,
him straight to the keeper. Yeah. It was
yep,
him this week. It was Gertrude previous match. Same
yep,
thing.
yep,
Straight down the keeper's throat. So this is the technical thing that they've learned. And I don't know, maybe one time out of 10 it comes off. If you're an amazing player, you can do that. You can have one touch and it'll bang, it's in, you know. Like
mm,
Wilson, there's a high probability he won't take two touches, he'll just do one touch because he's got magic feet and it might go in. I'd rather he kept doing that, what just specifically Wilson Isidore. I'd rather he kept doing his one one touch. Charlie, what's his name? He was the other one, wasn't he?
Charlie
You
White.
can only have one touch. Yeah, you can only give him one touch. If you give him two touches, it's not a goal. It has to be one. And he had a 30-goal season. So it does work. It's just you need the right player to do that. Talby's not a centre forward. So I think, yeah, it's those like if you were reviewing the moments of the game and we had access to these footage and stuff, you'd be like, oh, if you'd have done, that would be ideal, right?
I mean, that is.
I do remember the moment when Mayenda managed to produce something that we then didn't have an end result of because they overplayed it.
Mm-hmm.
Or Mayenda overplayed it. Yeah. If your instinct is you should have just took a shot, you probably were right. You're probably right. You probably should have just took a shot. I'm not giving it to Tom.
But that's the second time he's been kind of one-on-one with the keeper, because the other one was at Burnley. I don't know if you remember the Burnley game where he was one-on-one in the first half and he kind of like dinked it over the keeper and it went wide. I think it was just after Ballard got injured and we had that Mayenda chance. But again, we need the clip, don't we?
We need the clip, mate.
But
we're getting old.
Well, listen, all in all, right? I mean, we got beat 2-0. Man United weren't that good. We made them look good.
Not that good.
In that first half, we made them look good. And the changes helped us in the second half. But if you look back at the chances we had, we did have some good chances to get back in that game. Like, you got the Traore chance. You got the Xhaka shot, which, okay, it's like a shot, but still, it's an opportunity.
Yeah.
The Ballard header. The Talby one-on-one. But then you also had, we had a Mukiele on the right wing, bomb down the right wing, and he put a ball in, and Brobby.
Oh yeah, the Mukiele moment. Yeah,
inches away, wasn't he? It was like Paul Gascoigne, Euro '96 all over again, wasn't it?
What's his bloody surname? Our beloved Gary, not Gary,
Bennett.
It was Bennett. Yeah, man, Mukiele. I was like, oi, here we are, Bennett time. He's purposely striding forward, the striding colossus, and. There was a moment, and yeah, we nearly scored from it. Yeah, I think
that's five chances in a game at Old Trafford that we haven't taken any, and I suppose subconsciously that's a bit of a concern that we are getting chances and not taking them, and we haven't got many goals in fact this season, apart from really the West Ham game. So, and
no, that was always going to be the case. Well, hang on. So, what we've scored 11 goals, conceded 7. Something like that.
You've called
before Man United. Before Man United, I was telling you yesterday on one of the messages, but stats can be very useful. I just want to know what's Man United's goal ratio, what's the defensive ratio. We've scored more than I expected for this time of the season. I just think, for me, I just look at the game as the two completely different halves. And, when they say positives from the game, and you take positives from the game, just disregard the first half. The manager got that formation wrong. And the players they weren't optimal as a result of the formation and what we were up against, which was a 3-5-2. So that's a problem, because if you are a 4-3-3 and you're one of the wingers and you go inverted, you have to go past the centre-back. There's no point just going inside the centre-back because there's going to be 3 players around you. And there was. And that's what happened in the first half. So the second half was miles better. Yes, we didn't score, but I can see why Man United as a team, and I just, when I think of Man United, I think of the Roy Keane era and the bloody Beckhams and all that. I don't have any history with this new Man United team because we got relegated from the Premier League and I was like, not watching it anymore. I've got other things to do than pay attention to the Premier League. Take the second half in isolation. Very good performance. Yes, but there was no goal, but yeah.
Well, just look at our stats there. So we've played 7 games and we've scored 7 and we've conceded 6. So it's like obviously a goal a game, more or less. Yeah. Man United scored 9, conceded 11. So I think that's bit of the frustrating part, isn't it? They've got a defensive problem, haven't they? But I mean, we couldn't even breach their defense yesterday. I mean, De Ligt had a good game. I thought he handled Brobby when he came on, and he said, oh, so he was quite good as well. But anyway, interesting change on 79 minutes. Trey Hume got hooked for Gertrude, or as you call him, Gertrude.
Yes.
Trey Hume, the last 3 games, has infuriated me with his performances.
Has he really?
Yes, yes. I mean, I really like Trey Hume. We all love his tackles and the fact that he's been with
Yeah,
Sunderland since League One.
yeah.
But I think he in the Premier League, he's going to be under more scrutiny. And especially now that he's got like players like Mukiele and he's got Geertruida behind him fighting for his right back place. Um, I just wonder whether Trey Hume has reached his ceiling because
Or
what infuriates me about him is that his first touch is quite poor and he always puts himself into a difficult situation and he always plays a pass which puts his teammates into a difficult situation as well.
well,
So,
was that yesterday where he did that or the game before?
well, I mean,
Well, he's in
like,
the box, he's in the 18-yard box, and he just taps it forward and get
well,
dispossessed.
that was
And
against
it was the
Forest,
last
wasn't it?
game.
That was
Yeah,
against Forest.
he doesn't do it all the time, right? I mean, that was a bloody moment. No, I was very, very surprised. I thought you should know that
Mm.
is a very dangerous thing to do
I
when
think
they're pushing, the Forest team, the high press and all that. You
I
can't
think
afford to
he,
do
he,
that.
he had a good start to the season.
Mm.
Nothing spectacular, but he was solid as we expected. But for me, the
Mm.
last three games, he's kind of been caught out. I think he struggled against Villa, especially against pace. He struggled against Forest against pace, and yesterday he struggled as well. I mean,
Mm.
um, we've got Dan Ballard sitting on the bench now, and we've got Alderete and Mukiele who are playing well.
Mm.
Is there a case that we've got to get our best defenders on the pitch, and that means Dan Ballard's got to come in, and then Mukiele has to move to right back, so we've got a centre back pairing of Ballard and Alderete?
If you're going to play four at the back, then that does you raise the question of, okay, well, who do we play at right back? And it's only going to be Hume or, well, hang on, we've got Gertrude and Hume and Mukiele. All of them can play right back. And I don't suppose Mukiele is a wing back of any description, but I think the other two could do that job, which is an exhausting job, right? Because they're the only winger. They're the only on that side of the pitch. It's a lot of work. But for me, I mean, he is what he is. He's a Roy Keane right back, and that's how he plays football. He's not some bloody defense splitting pass guy, although he can occasionally do it, and he can score an amazing worldie. I'm sure he had one of those last season, a worldie like bullet. But he will tackle, and he will definitely track back, of course, and he has a good engine. He's fit. I just think he had a brain fart last week when he did that little tap of the ball there, because he was in his centre back position. The other thing about Hume is do you remember Tony Mowbray started doing this thing where Trey Hume drifts inside so they can overload different areas?
Yeah.
I think that's still going on because I'm seeing Trey Hume in the middle of the bloody park. And wait, hang on, why are we doing that? Because that's just adding another thing to his game. He's sophisticated, genius footballer who could do those roles, right? Xhaka strikes me as a very clever man. In his interview, some players come across as intelligent or less intelligent. So Xhaka comes across as more highly intelligent. So you can assign him different roles because he's smart and he'll know how to make those things happen. But I mean, no disrespect to him, but I don't think he's capable of doing this and this and that and that and that and that and that. So if he's having a bad time, it's because first of all, he's just joined the Premier League. This team are still gelling. And I could see, we were talking about the performance of Man United. I can see why those well-drilled, well-organised teams why are Bournemouth in the Premier League? Brighton's a sort of been a long time coming because I used to live in Brighton and that is a massive football town. And I'm glad that they're doing well. There's some other teams in the Premier League. I'm like, how did they get there?
Brentford.
But this is crazy. And I bet you these teams have been getting results against Man United because as that second half shows, they just they ain't all that. To be under the cosh like we were in the first half was because of a strategic error and a personnel choice error. And we completely rectified it in the second half. but we
Yeah,
just couldn't get the goal.
Labrisny's post-match comments admitted as much. He said yeah,
He admitted
we
it.
weren't at the level and we needed to make changes, and we did in the second half. We were better, but we know that we have to learn from these mistakes. And it was interesting that Amorim as well even said that it wasn't a great performance from our part. And I thought, yeah, that's how I saw it. You were good the first half, but we made you look good. We gave you the space to.
Yeah.
But the second half, they weren't that good. It wasn't like, wow, Man United are back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me,
Which is the sentiment of the commentators that I was listening to. Oh, hell, oh, this is we're getting our United back. This is what we want to see.
They play
I'm an
Liverpool.
impartial
They play
commentator.
Liverpool after the international break, so they're going to get hammered there, no doubt.
Probably, yeah.
And they'll be back to square one again. But anyway,
Yes,
we
that's what
have
I
got
think.
this international break. I suppose it comes at a
do
good
we?
time for a little bit of reset. So yeah, we play Wolves on the 18th, I think it is, on the 18th of October, Saturday, 4 p.m. kickoff at home. So you'd like to think that Wolves are struggling at the minute, and home advantage, we can get back to winning ways.
Oh, looking at the tables. Look at the tables, Lee. Right, where are Wolves? Bottom of the league. Damn.
1 point after 6 games. Today they
That's
play
not good.
Brighton, I think, is it? They play.
Oh, okay. Well, I will. That result I will look at with great interest because oh my goodness me, look at that. They've got 1 point. They've scored 5 goals. No, they've scored 4 goals, conceded 13. Oh, well, I mean, if it wasn't the Sunderland team I was talking about, I would be if I was a betting man. I mean, I'd be very optimistic about beating Wolves. Very optimistic. But because we're talking about Sunderland,
you never know, do you know? You never know.
well, they might thrash us 3-0, eh? How about that?
Yeah. Well,
that's what it is to support this team, though, If we get our shit together and we don't make a mistake like the formation or players having an off day or just not feeling it, but I've got to say the manager's got to take that on. You're away at Man United and you're playing 4-3-3. Well, that's confidence, mate. I'll give you that, yeah? That's confidence. But you got completely overrun for 45 minutes. And we should be beating Wolves, shouldn't we? And that's to say, first season back in the Premier League, blah, 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 blah. But Wolves are a team, as a historic team. We're bigger than Wolves. And I want to be arrogant just for a sec. We should be beating teams like Wolves at home.
given the current state of the league and form, yeah, I agree.
You know what they're going to do, though? They're going to turn up and they're going to either be Barcelona or they're going to be Blackhill Heath Young Boys bloody football team. It'll be one or t'other.
Yeah.
They'll either be really great and have a great game, Wolves, and that will be the kickstart they need, as has been the case for other teams and players over the years. Or I'm much more confident in Labrise. It took me a while to get the handle of Labrise, but he seems like a very bloody smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday was evidence of that. Oh God, this isn't working. I've made a mistake. I'm gonna have to make the changes, and he did. And we had a better second half.
And fair play to him for that.
I'm
Paul,
relieved.
I'm gonna head off now because the Zoom's gonna end as well. We've chatted for too long. But yeah, we've got international break now, so I'm gonna totally disconnect from football for the next 2 weeks because I have no interest whatsoever in international football. Don't really care who England are playing. Yeah, I mean,
sad to say.
Yeah,
late 90s, I turned off. Late 90s, early 90s was the last good time, and we were in the finals. We lost to Spain in the semi-final. I was living in Brighton. I think it was the late 90s, and the buzz in town, everyone you could feel because England were doing well. But those days are gone. I never watched the English football team.
So roll on the 18th of October against Wolves at the Stadium of Light, and we'll be back for then. Paul, thank you for coming on. Enjoy the rest of your day in Thailand. Have a couple more beers, and then, how are the lads, and see you next time.
How are the lads? 6 o'clock is beer o'clock.